That girl must be brought up.
Some information about a missing person.
The film opens beneath the surface of water. The camera drifts upward through pale bubbles, catching the warped outline of a woman's face waiting on the other side. Claire Spencer lies submerged in her own bathtub, eyes closed, breath held, the sound of the world above filtered to a distant hush. She surfaces slowly, steam coils around her. The Vermont morning presses softly against the window, and for a moment she looks like a woman at peace. She is not. She is a woman about to lose what little she has left.
Come on, I'll make you some waffles. Good boy.
Claire is a former cellist, the wife of a brilliant university research scientist, and the mother of a daughter who left for college only days ago. The house she lives in is beautiful and empty. Its long hallways carry sound the way the lake outside carries cold easily, and for a long time. Her husband Norman is everywhere in the place and somehow never inside it. He works late, he works through dinner, he carries his father's name like a debt he hasn't finished paying. The morning her daughter drives off to school, Claire stands on the gravel and waves until the car disappears. Then she stands a while longer, not wanting to turn around. The house behind her has done nothing wrong yet. That is about to change.
Come on, Pooper, let's go.
The first sign comes through the hedges. Claire hears voices sharp, raised, the voices of two people who have stopped pretending to be civilized with each other. She glances over and sees her new neighbors, Mary and Warren Fuhrer, locked in some private war on their lawn. They notice her. They go inside. A few minutes later, Claire is back in her garden when she hears soft, broken weeping just beyond the fence. She crosses the lawn carefully, the way one approaches a wounded animal, and finds Mary sitting alone in tears. Claire tries to coax words out of her. Mary only shakes her head and walks away. That night, Claire tells Norman about it. He barely lifts his eyes from his papers. He suggests she's been alone too much. He doesn't take her seriously, and the reason he doesn't take her seriously is something Claire won't understand for a long time. The next morning, Claire walks over with a bottle of wine and a smile. The house is locked. No one answers. On the front step, she finds a single sandal, and on the sandal, she finds a dark stain that looks unmistakably like blood. She slips it into her pocket and walks home with a feeling she can't name. Then the house begins to misbehave. Doors open by themselves. Photographs slide off shelves and shatter on the floor. A frame falls without anyone touching it. Claire's friend Jody comes by to check on her, gentle and worried in the way old friends are. She reminds Claire about the accident, the car crash a year earlier that left holes in her memory. The holes are about to fill themselves in, one terrible inch at a time. A storm comes that night. The power dies. Lightning lights the yard in flashes. Claire crosses to the window and sees Warren Fuhrer in the rain, dragging a heavy body-shaped bundle across his driveway and shoving it into the trunk of his car. She calls for Norman. By the time he reaches her side, the car is gone. The driveway is empty. The rain pours down on nothing at all. Norman looks at his wife with the patience of a man explaining something to a child. There's no one out there, Claire. She tries to convince him. He doesn't budge. He suggests she see someone, a professional. The word hangs in the room like an accusation. The next day, alone, Claire feels the door behind her open on its own. She turns and finds it standing wide. Somewhere in the house, the boards groan as if under a weight that isn't there. By the window of her study, a frame tips and drops. Is it the wind, or is it something that doesn't have hands but knows where her things are? Evening comes. Claire is working in her garden when she catches sight of something pale floating in the lake. She is certain it is Mary Fuhrer's body. She runs straight to Norman's lab, breathless, terrified. Norman is at his bench developing a compound that paralyzes the body while leaving the mind fully awake, a drug, he explains, designed for patients who need to remain conscious during certain procedures. Claire barely hears him. She tells him everything. He listens politely, the way one listens to a story one has decided in advance not to believe.
Oh,
You didn't know your father was dead?
you knew.
Oh, Nor. You're so sensitive.
I'll have to watch that one.
Claire goes back to the Fuhrer house. This time Warren is home. She gives him the gift and asks, lightly, after his wife. The mention of Mary's name changes Warren's face. He tells Claire to leave. As she steps off the porch, she sees the same sandal again, and this time she takes it. She begins to watch the house through binoculars. She finds a strange key tucked inside the heater vent of her own bedroom and pockets it without understanding why. The bathtub fills itself, alone, the taps running on their own. When Claire goes to shut them off, she sees a face just beneath the water, a young woman, drowned and silent, looking up at her. She screams. Norman comes running. He finds an empty tub.
Calm down.
He takes her to a psychiatrist the next morning, but Claire is not losing her mind. The woman in the water is real, and she has not yet finished speaking.
Try to contact her.
What do you want me to do? Go out and buy a Ouija board?
Jody comes back. The two women hold a small, half-joking seance with the bloody sandal as their anchor. They feel ridiculous. Nothing answers. Jody leaves, and then the bathtub fills itself again, and the face appears in the water again, and the words, "You know," write themselves across the fogged glass. The home computer flickers on by itself and types the letters MEF. Claire runs to her husband. This time, Norman is colder than he has ever been. He tells her enough is enough. Frightened and humiliated, Claire storms outside and sees Warren Fuhrer in his driveway. She screams across the lawn that he is a murderer. She screams that he killed his wife. And then Mary Fuhrer walks out of the front door, alive and confused. Claire freezes. Her certainty collapses underneath her. She apologizes in pieces and walks home a woman emptied of her own conviction. She was right that there was a murdered woman in this story. She was only wrong about which one.
Let's deal with that. I'm willing to deal with that.
The next morning, repairing the photo frame that fell weeks earlier, Claire pries open the backing and finds a folded newspaper clipping tucked inside. A missing university student, pretty, young, gone without a trace. Her name is Madison Elizabeth Frank, and the initials beneath her photograph match the letters that appeared on the screen. MEF. Claire searches online. Madison was a student at Norman's University the same year Madison vanished.
Claire?
When Claire asks her husband about the girl, Norman doesn't blink. "I don't know anyone named Madison." He says it flatly. Then he tells her with rising anger that he wants her to stop. He wants this madness to end, and that is how you know the madness has only just begun.
It's her.
Tell me what to do.
Claire drives to Madison's mother's house under the pretense of being an old friend. The mother, hollowed out by grief, leads her gently through Madison's preserved bedroom. While she isn't looking, Claire takes a few strands of Madison's hair from a hairbrush on the dresser. That evening, she performs a second seance, alone, with the hair. The spirit answers this time. Claire's body changes. Her posture shifts. Her voice softens into someone else's voice. When Norman comes home, the woman waiting for him in the bedroom is not entirely his wife. She moves like a younger woman. She touches him the way a younger woman once did. Norman looks at her, and for a flickering, impossible moment, he sees Madison's face hovering beneath Claire's. He shoves her away in horror. Claire falls. The hair slips from her hand. She blinks back into herself, dazed, lying on the floor. And then, slowly, like the surface of the lake clearing after a stone is dropped, her memory begins to return. She remembers Madison's face. She remembers seeing Madison with Norman.
Please.
I gave up everything.
Norman, cornered, confesses. Yes, there had been an affair. Yes, with Madison. It happened during a hard year of their marriage. He claims it was brief. He claims he ended it. He swears Madison disappeared shortly after. Claire goes straight to Jody. Jody hesitates and then admits she had also seen Norman once. At a cafe in another town with a young woman she now realizes must have been Madison. They had looked, Jody says quietly, like people in love.
I can't talk to him. I have to ask him something.
Claire confronts Norman. He shifts his story. The affair was longer than he admitted. He insists he never left town with Madison. He insists he ended it cleanly. He insists, above all, that he did not harm her. Claire drives to the town Jody mentioned. She walks into the cafe. The waitress remembers Norman well. He was a regular. He came with the same young woman again and again. Every word Norman has told her is a lie shaped to look like the truth.
I never dreamed anyone would hear me and pleaded with me to come home.
She drives home shaking. She finds Norman in the bathtub, slumped under the water, unconscious. She drags him out. When he comes around, he says only that he slipped. Claire looks at him for a long moment and asks the question outright. Did you kill her? He says no. Of course he says no. He has been saying no since the day Madison vanished.
I want to be alone for a while.
Claire walks down to the lake. Standing at its edge, she feels something pull at her, the way grief sometimes pulls at a person standing near deep water. She wades in. Something or someone drags her under. Beneath the surface, she sees the corner of a box, decorated with a delicate pattern she recognizes from the necklace Madison wore in her photograph. She reaches for it. Norman's hands close around her arms and haul her back into the air.
You alright, Claire? That's what you're talking about?
I took my mask out.
This is Madison Frank's hair.
Norman,
Yes. I believe you.
Days later, in a small shop in the town where Norman conducted his affair, Claire finds a jewelry box identical to the one beneath the lake. The same pattern, the same shape. She buys it, she brings it home. The strange key from the heater vent slides into the lock and turns. Inside are Madison's earrings and her necklace, the necklace she was wearing the night she disappeared. The house has been hiding Madison inside its own walls.
You don't understand what that is.
Don't I, Norman? That's Madison's necklace.
Claire confronts Norman one final time, and this time his story changes again. He says Madison killed herself in their home in a fit of jealousy. He says he panicked. He says he carried her to the lake and weighted the body and dropped her in along with the box of her belonging. He swears he is telling the truth at last. He weeps. He begs her to understand.
what are you asking me to do?
I'm asking you to forgive me.
That girl must be brought up.
Claire tells him he has to call the police. Norman picks up the phone. Claire watches him dial. She hears him speak in low, broken sentences, confessing. He sets the phone down and waits. Exhausted, the look of a man finally unburdened. Claire walks over to the phone. She picks it up. She presses redial. It rings, and a recorded operator's voice answers. He did not dial 911. He dialed 411. Before she can react, Norman is behind her. The needle slides into her neck. The compound he developed in his lab spreads through her in seconds. Her muscles surrender. She drops. Her mind stays exactly where it was.
But you wouldn't let it go. Be proud of me. I have no idea what it was like. Watch your life slip away. Neither of you.
He carries her upstairs and lays her gently in the bathtub. She can feel everything. She cannot move a single finger. The water begins to rise. Norman sits on the edge and finally speaks the truth. The affair was not brief. Madison threatened to expose him to the university and destroy the career he had built on top of his father's shadow, so he killed her. And now, he tells Claire with something almost like tenderness, he has to do the same to his wife because she knows too much, and he loves her too much to let her live with what she knows. The water rises past her shoulders. He leans down to kiss her one last time. As his face nears hers, Claire's reflection in the bathwater is no longer Claire's. Madison stares up at him through his wife's eyes, pale, drowned, patient. Norman recoils in horror. His foot slips on the wet tile. His head strikes the edge of the glass with a sound like a struck bell, and he crumples to the floor. The cold water is what saves her. It seeps into Claire's body and drags her mind back to the surface inch by inch. She forces a hand to the edge of the tub, then an arm, then, somehow, a leg over the side. She crawls, dripping, half paralyzed, down the stairs and out into the night. She makes it to the car and pulls away. The bridge over the lake rises ahead in the headlights, and Norman, bleeding from his head, rises with it. He has dragged himself into the car with her. He lunges across the seat. The wheel jerks. The railing gives. The lake takes them. Underwater, Norman's hands find her throat. He squeezes. Claire's vision narrows. Bubbles rise from her mouth in slow silver chains. And then, drifting up from the dark below, comes Madison chained still to the bed of the lake, her hair adrift around her face, her hand reaching with the patience of a year of waiting. Her fingers close around Norman's wrist. He cannot pull free. He tries. He thrashes. Madison does not let go. Claire surfaces alone. Months pass. Winter comes to Vermont. Claire stands at a small headstone in a quiet cemetery and lays a single red rose against the stone. Madison Elizabeth Frank has her name back. Her body has been returned to her family. The man who killed her is at the bottom of the same lake he hid her in. Claire turns away from the grave and walks across the snow, her footprints the only mark of her passing, and behind her the rose lies bright against the white, a small, red, finished thing, like a debt at last paid in full.